Yeah! I hear the music. I hear the music loud and clear. It's running through my veins right now, baby. Because you know what that sound means? It means we are very close to a fight card actually kicking off. And for the first time in 2023, we got some UFC fights to watch today. How about that? Change the narrative a little bit, and I'm pretty excited about it because we're going to get some fist fights. We're going to talk about them, and this is the first People's Pre-Fight Show of 2023. Thank you for joining us. I am Mike Heck, and joining me to answer all of your UFC Vegas 67 questions and beyond, the man on the ones and twos, Mr. 3024 himself, Casey Leydon. What's up, man?
Yeah. 2023, Sean Strickland, main event, baby. Woo! Boom.
The excitement is in the air, everybody, and I'm very happy to be talking about fighting and not about the negative stuff going on, because today the headlines go to the athletes, they go to the fighters, and that's what this sport is all about, and I'm very excited to do just that. If you're new to the People's Pre-Fight Show, if you're just joining us for the first time, it is exactly that. We're just going to answer your questions. Just chuck them in the chat. We'll pull them up. We'll address. We'll get after it. We'd like you to stick with Vegas 67 if you could, but listen, it's a sport where the news cycle just goes on and on and on. So it is kind of an open forum, but you know what I'm trying to say. So let's do this. What do we got?
All right.
And we'll let you know when the fights start, and we'll go as soon as the first fight is underway.
All right.
Which is Jimmy
start
Flick
our
and
very
Bill Johnson.
first question. Boom.
Joseph, guys, do you see the winner of Vieira versus Pennington facing Amanda Nunes next, or should they book the trilogy with Juliana Pena? We talked about this a little bit on the preview show yesterday, but what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that no matter who wins this fight, they're going to get Nunes next for the belt, or do you think we'll go a different direction here?
I think it's a kind of a battle between Pena, Vieira, if she looks great tonight, and great, not just good. And actually, Irina Aldana. Aldana coming off that win off Macy Chazon. She's on a 2-fight winning streak. She beat Yana Kunitskaya, Macy Chazon, in one of the best knockouts of the year, up kick to the liver. I think Aldana's still in the equation too. But really, I don't think the UFC really cares. I think just as long as they can get a live body in front of Amanda Nunes, they'll sell it. I think you can sell all three of those people: Pena, Vieira, or Aldana. But so I think that's why this fight, no one really cares about it, because we kind of know that. Yes, it's the women's bantamweight division. The UFC's kind of given up on it a while back, and while they care, of course, I have a hard time getting invested in it, because I just don't believe. I don't believe UFC I don't believe women's bantamweight division is a real thing anymore. Basically,
yeah. I mean,
it saddens me. It saddens me too. I'm bummed out, but that's just.
It's been at least 3 months since we've even had a fight in this division. If that tells you anything, there's probably maybe 22, 25 at the most women's bantamweights on the roster who fight exclusively at 135. So yeah, it's kind of tough. I would say, and this is me putting the onto the next one matchmaker hat on, if Ketlen Vieira wins, then I think she has the best chance, but I would not rule out Amanda Nunes just saying, hey, if you need to trot me out there and fight somebody, I'd rather not cut the weight. So just chuck me in there with Norma Dumont and we'll do it for the featherweight title. That would not shock me at all. But if Vieira wins, I think Vieira's next fight will probably be for the belt. If Pennington wins, I don't think that's the case. I think they will throw her in there with Juliana Pena. Or you could just go the other route. If Nunes decides, hey, I'm just going to fight at 145, or she fights Valentina, then I honestly think that the correct answer is probably the winner of this fights Juliana Pena to get the next shot. Because I think from what I understand, and it makes sense, I think after the way that second fight went, they want to see Pena get one more win. Like, go out, fight somebody else, get a win. And if you get that win, boom, you're right back in there for the trilogy fight. But I just don't know if there's a lot of positivity, a lot of momentum towards people wanting to see Pena fight Nunes right now after the way that second fight went. Because, I mean, look, Jed Meshews put it perfectly. It was one of the most fascinating ass whoopings that we've ever seen. Like, Pena got dominated, but she had moments where her toughness was displayed. She had a couple of close spots, maybe locking into submission, although Nunes says they weren't really that close. But that was one way. That fight was one-way traffic. That fight was not all that competitive. It was fun to watch because Pena's tougher than a $2 steak. Credit to you, Jim Ross. But yeah, I just think Pena needs to get one more win before she gets that third fight.
From a fans, I guess, fan interest perspective, does Pena need another win? Like, if
I don't know. Like, because you said, I don't know if just the division is not,
it's not a
really on display.
Anymore.
And yeah. And I think if fans had a choice, like if you put up a poll right now, if AK was here, he would put up this poll. Like, who should Amanda Nunes fight next? And you threw Pena on there, you threw the winner of this fight on there, and you threw Valentina Shevchenko on there. I think Valentina Shevchenko would be the runaway winner.
Yeah,
would be the runaway winner.
That's clearly the fight we all want to see. I think everyone wants to see the Shevchenko fight. I would love to see Pena versus Aldana. I think that would be freaking great.
Yeah, that's fine. Or if Raquel Pennington wins, you have to do the Pena fight, because those two, like Raquel Pennington, you can sell this fight just by like every Raquel Pennington interview we have seen over the last like 5 years, or since they both came off the Ultimate Fighter. Raquel Pennington is not a Juliana Pena fan. Raquel doesn't talk a lot of trash, but she'll talk the trash about Juliana. Ooh. So put that fight together. It makes like perfect sense.
I do like that fight, actually. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is
actually
a huge story there.
Honestly, win or lose, even Pennington loses a competitive decision, I still wouldn't mind seeing. I'm sorry, did I say it right? If Pennington loses a competitive decision, I still wouldn't mind seeing Pennington. Yeah, just because that's a fight we haven't seen yet, and there is some beef there, and I can see how their personalities clash.
Yeah.
All right, dude. All right.
Uh-oh. Wow. I'll say 13 and a half.
13 and a half. Okay. That sounds about right.
Over under? What are we thinking?
I'll go.
That is hilarious. That is hilarious.
That's just a good question.
You win the day. There's no question that's gonna be better than that today. You won. That's our show, everybody. Thanks, Donnie. Extra large.
All right. All right, man.
That's very funny.
All right. Thanks a lot.
All right. Good night, everybody. Oh man. I did not expect to see that on the screen.
That one caught me off guard. All right. Okay. Talk about the co-main event.
Tell me how Ige is winning this fight against the Leech David Jackson. This could go. What do you think? You look at the sport a little bit differently now that you train all the time and you've had a fight yourself. So I love this fight. It's the fight I'm looking forward to the most on the entire card, just because I'm interested in both guys and I'm fascinated on the trajectories that they're currently on right now, locking horns at the perfect time, honestly. But how does Ige win this fight?
I think Ige is just a better overall athlete, a better overall mixed martial artist. But you know what? I gotta admit, I've slept on Damon Jackson. I just had that image of him getting just murdered in PFL. He was the gentleman that was murdered in PFL, right, with that flying knee within the first 5 seconds of that fight.
Yeah, I actually thought you were going to talk about the Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria destroyed him. But I mean, that's freaking Ilia Topuria. So, 10 seconds by Mavlid Khaibulov. PFL 2019.
Yeah, I, I, you know, Damon Jackson has that issue with me where like I remember his losses so much more than his victories, which is not fair. I feel like I say, I always compare this to like say Corey Anderson. A lot of people kind of sleep on Corey Anderson because when he loses, he kind of loses big. And in my mind, this is just me not just kind of it's not really fair, honestly. I've seen Damon Jackson just lose big, so I haven't been able to kind of believe that he's a top an elite featherweight. He's obviously very good. He's obviously, he deserves to be in this spot. But I just think Dan Ige better. But I don't think Dan Ige a top 5 bantamweight. Top 5 featherweight either. He is on a little tough stretch. What is he? Who did he just lose?
3 in a row. Oh, he lost to Movsarevloyev, who probably got to fight for the title.
Yeah, he lost. He's lost 3, so 4 out of 5 decisions. Yeah. But then Ige is also that guy too. Is like he doesn't really excel at anything. He's just really good at everything, and just tough. Yeah. Just tough. Like you get like he doesn't really. He's not a one punch knockout guy. He's solidly solid, and I just think he's just overall. It's a good fight. It's a good fight night main event. I'm just hoping it's a good fight. I expect Ige to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jackson does it too. I mean, it's changing the guard. Damon Ige kind of had his run at the top, didn't quite do it. Maybe this is Damon Jackson's time to shine.
Which is kind of funny to say since Damon Jackson is 34 years old, that he's part of like the changing of the guard. I mean, what he's done has been incredible. But like that loss and the Topuria loss since July of 2017, that's it. Those are the only fights he's lost. He's won the other 11, including this 4-fight win streak he's on right now. Charles Rosa submitting Camuel Kirk, Daniel Argueta, who's fighting on the same card. I think the Pat Sabatini win was like a game changer for a lot of people. They're like, all right, this dude is, especially with everything he was going through with the loss of his brother and everything heading into that fight, which nobody even really, I don't think, knew about until after he said it. To me, I mean, just to keep this as simple as possible, Dan Ige needs to keep this thing on the feet. He needs to keep this thing standing.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if Dan can avoid being on his back for any length of time, I think he wins this fight. This has nothing to do with like the stylistic matchup, but I think Puna Soriano winning will give him a boost for sure. Since, I mean, you can go on MMAfighting.com and read the article that I wrote talking to Eric Nixick about this. And Dan Ige and Puna Soriano fighting in the same card is like a very big deal for both of those guys. This is like a dream come true for them. They've been talking about this since they were kids, fighting on the same UFC card. And now they're going to do it and compete in back-to-back fights on a main card. That's pretty cool. So I think there's a different level of excitement for Dan Ige. Like, Dan's not a very excitable guy. He's just a very business-like, this is what I need to do. I'm not going to put any extra pressure on myself kind of a thing. And I think at least what Eric Nixick was telling me, that he'll never tell you this, that he's a little more amped up and a little more excited, but he can even see it in Dan that he's having a little bit more fun with this. And he's not feeling any extra pressure being on the losing streak. So I think Dan will win. I think him keeping this fight standing, like this could be a fight that Dan Ige could knock him out real fast. Like it wouldn't like Ige did to Gavin Tucker. Like that could happen here, depending on, I mean, this is Action Jackson now, kind of a different dude. But I do think Damon will come in a little bit more wiser, a little smarter. I don't think he's going to go crazy here. And I think Ige can just win the moments that really matter and win the stand-up exchanges, do a little bit more quote-unquote damage, and I think he'll win a hard-fought decision. But it's a close fight. I mean, this could go either way, but I'm picking Dan.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, too, because obviously if Jackson wins, it'll be his biggest victory by far, his toughest, biggest victory by far in UFC for sure. And if Ige loses, it will be against Damon Jackson isn't ranked in the top 15 in anyone's rankings, right?
No, this is Ige's. This is like, we ran it off on the preview show, like who Dan Ige has fought over the last 3 years. And it's just a ridiculous murderer's row. And this is no disrespect to Damon Jackson, because featherweight is a really good division. And when we talk about the toughest divisions in the sport, I don't think 145, especially in the UFC, gets enough credit for how strong and how deep it is. This is probably on paper, and I hate using the word easy. This is the probably best stylistic on paper matchup, like that suits Ige since Kevin Aguilar, honestly.
Yeah,
since the Kevin Aguilar fight. Like
that's why
Bektic was a tough one. Our Barboza, Cater, Tucker, Zombie, Emmett, Evloev. Like going from Evloev to Damon Jackson is doing Dan Ige a pretty big favor. But Damon's still really good. Like if Damon wins, it would not shock me. Yeah. But
I mean, that's
let's
why
see how good he is.
Yeah, that's why I like fights like this because like kind of changing the guard because okay, let's see if Ige is still an elite featherweight, and let's give Damon Jackson an opportunity to become an elite featherweight. So great matchmaking. Totally down with it. Perfect co-main event for a fight night, to be honest.
Yep.
All right,
love it. Joseph, what is one fighter or storyline fight on the show we should be paying attention to outside of the main event? Well, I love the Ige Soriano storyline. I think that's very nice and positive for a year thus far in MMA that needs positive stories. But what do you think? What's one fighter outside of the main event that you're really keeping your eye on here? And is there a storyline that sticks out to you?
To me, in terms of rankings and future title contenders, I think the Umar versus Hani Barcelos fight is really interesting. Is that in the main card? Is that
yeah, it's the opener, main card opener.
Okay, main card opener. I've been really high on Hani Barcelos. I just think he's had some kind of tough breaks, but it's a heck of a fight. I'm actually kind of picking. I'm picking Hani for the upset in this card.
Wow, yeah. That would be huge.
Yeah, more just because I think people sleep on him, and there's always that one fight in the card where like you kind of go, whoa, I just didn't see that coming. I'm kind of hoping it's this one. Not that I have anything against Umar, but I'm high on Hani. But otherwise, I'm really interested in the comeback of Jimmy Flick. I'm hoping we get the same Jimmy Flick that left the UFC. I'm hoping he's coming back. I hope he's coming back in that same shape. Because we don't know I didn't read his story, or I don't know why he's coming back. What in his life brought him back into fighting in the UFC again? Maybe I'm not sure. But
you edited the interview.
Jimmy Flick? No,
yeah.
Him coming back or him retiring?
Yeah. No, him coming back.
I did. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're right.
How dare you? How dare you?
I see so many fights. I forget sometimes. You're right. You're right. I like him. I think he's a great personality. He's a super exciting flyweight, and and Charles Johnson, is he on a 2-fight losing streak? Charles Johnson, or did he win? Did he win one yet? I forget.
I don't think he has a UFC win yet.
Oh no, he did. He won his last fight. Yeah, he did win his.
Oh, that's right.
It was split decision.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I thought he.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot that I got him confused with somebody else for some reason. I knew he fought Muhammad Mokaev, but I thought maybe he fought Mokaev. No, it was Malcolm. I got him confused with Malcolm Gordon for a second. The Zumagulov fight, which in a lot of people's eyes was a little bit, I don't know, a little bit sus. Zumagulov is like the Courtney Casey of men fighters. He's always on like the wrong end of split decisions that he probably should have won. But that's a great story. I mean, he's probably the correct answer, just him in general. And shout out to LFA. We got a battle former LFA champs getting after it, so I love that. But I have no idea what we're gonna see out of this guy. So I'm very fascinated in that. And I would say the other sort of low key fight that I'm looking at is the Mendonca Javid Basharat fight. Holy cow, that fight's gonna be a banger. That's gonna be super fun at 135. I think Javid Basharat is a guy who, I don't know if I'm ready to say he's gonna fight for a belt, but I'm confident he will be a top 10 bantamweight in the next 2 years.
Really?
And Madonka's a really good fighter. I'm very high on Basharat.
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
know
he's
anything
super
about
good.
Madonka. He's a Contender Series Brazil guy, so I really don't know anything about him. What can you tell me about him? It's just an exciting prospect.
Yeah, and he hits like
23.
a freaking truck, man. It's gonna come like he hits so hard, and he's a finisher. And what Javid Basharat does so well is that he's not there. And don't take this like I'm comparing the two in general, but Basharat has Volkanovski tendencies when it comes to how fights go later on. He's so good at making like in-cage adjustments as fights go on, and he gets stronger as they go. Like the first, almost Piotr Janish kind of a combination of the two. But Basharat's obviously still very young. He's 13-0, but he's got a very bright future. Both these guys do. And what has impressed me about Mendonca is that he's fought like legit dudes. Like very rarely is he fighting a guy that has a sub 500 record or, an 11-33 guy. Like Pedro Nobre is a guy who's gotten a lot of wins on the scene. He's fought legit dudes. I mean, he's fought some people that he was probably heavily favored over, but the regional scene can be that way. But love that fight. Let's see what Mendonca can do, and I'm very high on Javid Basharat, so that's a good one.
I like saying Mendonca. It's a fun name to say.
Mendonca.
Yeah, I like that.
Brendan Fitzgerald probably pronounce it a whole different way, and we'll be like, damn. They took Manel Cape away from us.
Yeah, I know. Jerk. I didn't want to know how to really say his name. Jerks.
Did you guys watch one yesterday? Kickboxing match. We're sick. Did you watch the one card yesterday?
I only caught the main event, and
that was a finish and a half.
Violent.
Jeez.
I love high level kickboxing so much. High level kickboxing. It was actually K1 Max. Actually, I watched reruns of old K1 Max from the early 2000s. And that's honestly what got me into combat sports, like really got me into combat sports, at least training especially. And seeing those two gentlemen just throw hammers at each other and just with such high level technique, I was just shocked how quickly it went downhill for Super Bond once he got hit. But awesome fights. I do have a lot of issues of one in general as far as production, but just talking about the fights itself, the two dudes hitting each other hard, it was awesome. And I highly suggest checking it out. It's really easy to watch. It was actually super easy to watch. Amazon Prime. I just opened it up and it was like right there on the top thing. I didn't have to go searching deep in the menu for it. It was just boom right there. And so good job of one. Good job of one and making it easily accessible for
that's huge.
People like me.
That's huge. I watched the main event this morning. I did not watch it live. I was exhausted, to be honest with you. It's been a crazy couple of weeks. Plus, I had to wake up kind of early and had a hellacious workout ahead of me that I knew exactly what was going to happen. So I was like, I should probably get a little bit of sleep because of this UFC card. But I will go back probably sometime tomorrow evening and watch the rest of it. But man, that main event was violent. That finish was friggin' ridiculous.
Yeah, it just went downhill so fast for Superbon. And Superbon was like, if he would have had that win, that would have been like 4 straight wins over just like legendary competition. It was almost a Jon Jones-esque type run in his division in kickboxing for MMA fans that aren't aware of who Superman is. But he was almost there, but then then he ran into some hammers. Ooh,
that he hit so hard. Holy cow.
You could just tell. Like I was just like, even in that first round, like there were just some shots were just grazing armor and just missing. I was like, oh my god, those look so mean. Those shots.
Yeah.
And I think Demetrius Johnson was in the commentary booth, and he was even wondering. He's like, man, can he keep up this pace for 5 rounds? But he didn't need to.
Nope. So. No, he did not. Yeah, that was. I mean, a lot of people seem to have liked it. I'm with you on the production thing. It was fantastic for the DJ Marias card, like that first Amazon Prime card. It was like they put their best foot forward with everything, not just the production, but how they promoted it, getting it out there. making sure people know that it's happening. And then kind of since then, it's just more of the things about one that drive me freaking crazy about them, because they could be so good.
Yeah,
and it's just the little things like that. And then hearing them come out and be like, oh, we're right there neck and neck with the UFC. And I'm just like, no, you're absolutely not. It's not true.
Well, I hate that promotions try to keep pushing that angle. Just like I always have one thing I like about Ryzen is that Ryzen never tries to compare itself to another organization. It's like, we're Ryzen, we do our thing, and that's it.
Ryzen's ECW. Ryzen's ECW. That's what they are. They just go out there and they just do crazy fun things. And
looks great. Yeah.
It's not easy to watch, but when you find it, you just want to keep watching it. So it's
not easy to watch because it's for a Japanese audience, Japanese time zone. So it's not catered to the American fans. So one's adjusting. They seem to had to have that at a weird time, right? Because it was in Thailand. That had to be was that
over catered? There. I don't know what time it was over there, but it was.
They couldn't have been a regular normal time. So they definitely are adjusting their start times for American audiences. But Ryzen don't care about that. They're like, watch it when you can.
Yep.
As they should. Yeah.
As they should.
All right. Dude, thank you for the question, though. Go back to Umar a bit.
With a big win, does Umar get a big step up or trouble finding an opponent? It's a great question. What do you think?
Both. He does get a big step up, and he will have trouble finding an opponent. That's who Hani Barcelos is. Hani Barcelos is a guy that's super good, who just has a heart. No one wants to fight him, and Umar is that guy today. But 35 is, if he does win this, what is Umar? Is Umar ranked in the UFC? Not that the UFC rankings matter, but what is he ranked?
Let me see. If he is, I would say he's probably like 15. Yeah. He's 11 actually. Wow.
11. Yeah. Okay, 11. All right. I'm just looking at his last 3 fights. If he can dominate like a 30-26 over Mr. Barcelos, or even finish Barcelos, because I think Barcelos has Barcelos. When's the last time he's even finished?
That's a great question.
Yeah, very long time. 2014. So I think of a big win. I think he just. I think both of these. I think if Umar does win, he will get a bigger step up, but the UFC will have trouble finding him an opponent. Most likely, he'll probably fight a top 10 bantamweight coming off a loss. I would expect.
He will be. It's tough, man. Like it's like I'm just looking at, this is the UFC rankings. They got O'Malley at 1, Jan, Merab, Vieira, Sandhagen, Font, Cruz, Song Yadong, Pedro Munoz, Ricky Simón. That's the top 10. I think Simone's honestly, I talked to Ricky Simón last week, and I actually feel like Ricky Simón is in a great spot to get that Merab fight, just because of how this division is being booked right now. Merab needs to fight somebody, and the fact that Rob Font is fighting Adrian Yanez tells me that they're probably going to do something similar with Merab, where, yeah, you're kind of in the mix, but you're going to have to fight a super tough dude that is on the come up to keep your spot. And so I think Simón is probably like the front runner to get that fight. But if Umar just goes in there and just trucks Raoni Barcelos today, that could be the one. That could be the fight. So I don't think Cruz would take that fight. And why would he? Song Yadong, maybe. I think he's still a little banged up, so I don't know when he's coming back. Maybe they do Pedro Munoz. I don't know. But like I've been saying,
sense, yeah.
And Merab versus Umar makes sense too, because both of those dudes are in position, like, for years. No one's going to be excited to see that name on the other side of a contract. No one's going to be excited to see either name. So we could just chuck those two in there against each other. The UFC card, the broadcast just started, and they flashed a graphic of in memory of Victoria Lee, which I thought was very good.
That's good. A great video by one. I think they put out. I don't know if you saw that. They put a
Yeah, it was
video of
awesome.
Victoria Lee, and it was good. One reason I enjoyed it too because it it talked about the memory of Victoria Lee as a human, not as a fight. Oh, she was awesome in jiu-jitsu. She had so much potential, but it wasn't about that because that's not what's important. What's important is that she was 18. She had so much of her life ahead of her. She had a family that freaking loved her, and she just, by all accounts, seems like just a great person. And just sucks. And I'm really glad that video went out there and kind of reminded people just what a just a positive force energy she had. And yeah, it was just a bummer, and man, made me just feel really sad for the Lee family.
Yeah, 100%.
I couldn't even like think about it too much because it kind of got my head all like, oh, I don't. But good video, and I'm happy to put it out there. And thanks, I appreciate the UFC giving some love for the Lee family and everything.
And their opening video right now is, I mean, they're really pushing this 30th anniversary stuff. They're going through the early stages to Fight Island and all the names that help build the UFC to where they're at right now. Ronda Rousey, Connor, like everybody's there. So some good stuff. I'm curious to see how they handle this whole 30th anniversary and what they do in November when they actually hit like the mark. That'll be cool. I'm interested to see what they do and if they do something like really fun.
30 years. 30 years.
It's crazy.
30 years.
Is it more likely Eric Nixon goes 3-0 or 0-3 tonight? I'm going to say 3-0. I'm going to say well, actually he's got four guys.
Yeah, I thought he had more actually. I thought it was 4.
He's got 4. He's got Basharat, he's got Puna, he's got Ige, and he's got Strickland. So just based on those names, I would, if we're going to say 4-0, if we're going to say 4-0 or 0-4, I would say either way, I'm going with the and-0 because I think Puna's going to knock out Roman Kopylov. I think Basharat will win, and I'm picking Ige to win as well, but I'm not picking Sean Strickland to win. Although I could. I think on the preview show, I think I was the one. I mean, I'm the one thinking this fight's going to be really close. But I'm going with Nassourdine just because I think if we're, with the whole thing of damage and we're judging is right now, I think Imavov will win the bigger moments and land the bigger shots as opposed to Strickland, who I think will have success in this fight. I do think he will have success. I think it's going to be super competitive. So if Strickland beats Imavov tonight, it would not surprise me at all. So with that said, I'll go with either 3-0 or 4-0, whatever we're doing.
I'm pretty much. I don't think the main event will be that competitive. I think Imavov will be dominant. But I'm very high on Imavov, and I'm not.
You are. You're higher on him than anybody else.
I'm higher on him than anybody, and I'm lower on Strickland than anyone else too. I think on our ranking panel. So I think this is going to be one-way traffic. So in a sense, I think it's more likely for Eric Nixon to get an 0 tonight. An 0-4 tonight than a 4-0, only because of the main event. Because I just think that's my lock of the night. Unless you make a good point. Strickland has that kind of weird. It's weird.
He's hard to take.
And maybe the judges just think that they'll just go, well, he's moving forward and throwing lots of punches, so I guess he's winning. I mean, who knows? I could see that.
Because I think there is a chance that Imavov could fade in this fight. There's a possibility he fades in this fight. And Strickland, whether he's on 5 days notice or 5 months notice, is probably not going to fade. He is who he is. That's just how he fights no matter what. So I think he's got to keep pushing forward. Now, if Imavov can get takedowns and get on top and control Strickland for long periods of time and do some damage, then I think you're right. But Strickland has really good takedown defense. It's going to be very tough to get him down and keep him down. So that's why I think this fight's going to be a lot closer than everybody else with MMA fight. I am picking Imavov to win because I think he will win the big moments that separate the two of them. But this could be like sort of, and it's not the same kind of Font Aldo-ish where Strickland's going to land a lot, but Imavov's going to land like the bigger shots. So, and I'm curious to see what game plan Strickland has. Like, because Strickland could wrestle too. Because Imavov's a decent offensive wrestler. He's not a great defensive wrestler. And we saw it in the Phil Haas fight. And Strickland can wrestle if he wants to. We thought he would wrestle against Alex Pereira, but of course he didn't. And it's still one of the moments of 2022. But respect to Strickland. He said if they fought again, he would do the exact same thing. So I give him credit for that. Respect. But I do think this is a very close fight. And look at Imavov's. This is the toughest matchup Imavov's ever had. It's for sure. This is his biggest fight ever.
It's his big. I agree. It's his biggest fight ever. Main event. Of course, 5 rounds. I do agree with that. I still think. Even I like Shabazian. I think Shabazian's a better fighter than Strickland. I think Strickland's just kind of on a streak, and with how entertaining Strickland is outside of the cage, I think I think he's a little overvalued. If you just go based on what he does in the cage for Strickland, I don't think he deserves this main event. Even though he didn't get the main event originally because it was a Gaslam's fight, but just because I think the UFC is confident that he can sell a fight. I know we're just kind of. I think we're just in kind of different places where we think about Strickland. So I'm just really high on Imavov for this fight. I think it will be one-way traffic, especially Strickland. I know he's a cardio machine, but there was no training camp for this. This is I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So they're in the booth, so no fights yet. It's Karen Bryant, Juliana Pena, and Michael Chiesa on the desk.
All right. All right.
And it's Fitzgerald, Felder, and Dominic Cruz on the mics tonight.
All right. A little bit off topic. Well, off topic from the card.
What are the chances from 1 to 10 we see Johnny Bones fight this year? 10 is absolutely.
This year.
I will never put a 10 on absolutely. I will never put a 10 on Jon Jones. I will say, man, they don't have anything on that March 4th card yet. They got nothing. So I don't know what they're going to do. So I'll say I'm confident it happens this year. I'm confident. But even with if this was anybody else, I would rate this higher. But it's Jon Jones, and there's just so many roads we could take here because he could book a fight and then do something really dumb and stupid, and the fight doesn't happen. So you have to keep that into account too. So I'll give it a 7. I'll give it a 7 that he fights this year.
I'm gonna give it a solid 3.
I think most people are with you.
Yeah,
but I'm confident.
And the real reason why, and I feel bad for Jon Jones in the sense that I believe he is underpaid by the UFC. I believe almost every fighter is, and especially guys like Jon Jones. And the UFC, how long has Jon Jones been out for now? Over 2 years?
Be 3.
Oh my God,
it's gonna be 3 next years,
and the UFC is still bragging about how much money they're making. So why do they need Jon Jones? I think this is just the kind of fans want to see Jon Jones, but does the UFC, as far as like the accountants, the pocketbooks, do they need Jon Jones? And that's the issue.
Probably. To me. They don't have. The problem is look, at the end of the day, you have this mega deal with ESPN, and none of this really matters because you're making so much money. It literally does not matter who you trot out there. It doesn't matter who headlines pay-per-views. None of that matters. It doesn't, because they're getting the same amount of money either way. So they're good. They could trot anything out there. But I think at some point you have to make a big move. And especially with how the year has started from a PR perspective, you got to keep the fans involved, because there are fans who just became fans. They've seen what happened this year, and they're jumping off the boat. So how do we keep everybody else involved? We get Jon Jones. And that's why, like, I was stunned they didn't announce a Jon Jones fight after this whole Dana thing was happening, because, well, we need good PR. We need something good to talk about. So,
What's up? What's going on?
No. Hold on one second. Okay, so Lesueur, who French media, outside the T-Mobile arena, took a photo, and it says Jon Jones versus Cyril Gane. What? I mean, they're like a legit source.
What do you mean, like on the side of the building? What do you mean? What does that mean?
Like, you've been at T-Mobile, right?
Yeah. Like
they have the big like video screen outside the building, and they got, according to this picture, it's got a picture of Jon Jones and Cyril Gane.
March 4th.
How about that?
Okay, maybe not a 3, maybe a 6.
I'm
World Heavyweight Championship.
What?
That's what it says. World Heavyweight Championship, March 4th.
Whoa.
UFC. No.
Okay, so now I'm going on the T-Mobile website right now. On sale TBA. I want to see if they have said anything about this. Nothing there. Okay. Well, let's see what Access has to say. Yeah, they're just saying tickets coming soon. Just says UFC 285.
Let me throw this picture up so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah, check it up there. Wow.
So sorry, I saw I messed up with it. So there you go. Look right there, people.
We'll see if they announce this tonight.
I
mean, at this point, you probably Jeez Louise. Let me see what the website has. Does the website have anything? Nope, just says TBD versus TBD.
I wonder if some graphics person put this up too early, because there's no way this is how the UFC announces it. Wait, why is that T-Mobile? It's weird. It's so weird. Nothing's even like, I forget the fight's at the Apex. So like, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about right now. So like, some fan must have just walked by T-Mobile and just saw this out there. So I guess we need some sort of confirmation.
Apparently there's multiple photos of this, because I'm looking at Aaron Bronsetter's account, and there's 2 different photos. That one that you're showing, and then there's another one from a different angle. From a further back angle. Wow.
So I would just say this. A lot of times, maybe this fight is in the works, and the UFC was kind of getting ahead of it and getting the graphics ready for it, and maybe there was a miscommunication, and the T-Mobile graphics person put it up when it wasn't supposed to go up, or something like that. But this is cool. You know what? Also, it's interesting too. It doesn't say interim heavyweight championship.
That's freaking insane.
It says straight up heavyweight championship.
Wow. So I'm gonna we're multitasking here, because obviously this is not something that I expected to happen.
That's a big deal. Wow. They say, what are the peeps saying? So what are our chances we'll see Jones fight this year? I'm gonna go 9.
But again, I still can't, even if the UFC just comes out and just announces right this second, I'm still at a 7. I'm still at a 7. Because he's got to get, we're at that point now where he has to actually get in there.
Yeah.
And I need to see him at a fight week. I need to see him at a press conference, a media day, whatevs. I got to see something. I got to see something.
But this is an amazing thing. I mean, is this? Oh my goodness! I'm sorry. I'm just like I'm flabbergasted.
This is freaking crazy. I'm looking like everywhere right now to see if there's like any other signs. Nothing. Yeah. I've reached out to like multiple people, so I mean,
I'm assuming everyone's on.
And I'm not gonna bug like anybody that is like is a part of this fight card right this second. Wow. Stay tuned. We might get ourselves a big announcement tonight. Holy shnikes.
Yeah.
But that's not the word I wanted to use here. If this
shnikes.
Is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry. I know this is, I don't want to demonetize us for dropping such an elusive word.
Wow. If they announce this, we have to get right back on the cameras and do a little reaction. Because the second biggest thing is the world championship, not world interim, not Jon Jones versus Francis Ngannou. Is that where's Francis in this whole situation?
Okay, so I a little more insight. Nassourdine, who posted the photo, translating, they had a little comment underneath saying that Cyril Gane's brother sent them the photo. So I don't know if that legitimizes it or if it delegitimizes it because they want to put something positive out into the universe. So now I'm perplexed. Perplexed, I tell you.
Yeah, that doesn't really help, actually.
It doesn't. Yeah, but there's multiple.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
but there's multiple photos.
Okay, so it's not. This isn't a Photoshop or anything, man.
But you're right, oh, man. So I will. I don't know. I don't know. Or maybe they're just like, I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know. And the person I would ask, I'm not asking right now because there's a lot going on. So, oh
man. Should I text some people? Because I have some people. I got my phone right here. I can ask just simple questions.
I mean, dude, you can't tease us like that and then not do it. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. What's going on in the broadcast right now?
I don't really care. No. Jimmy Flick and Charles Johnson are about to fight. Jimmy Flick is making the walk to the octagon.
All right.
He's at the get ready zone, getting checked out, and he's walking himself into the octagon. I mean, we can't go anywhere right now because who knows? The only person who's responded to me says they don't have any insight. So here comes Charles Johnson. Imagine these two guys are coming out. They have no idea what's happening right now in the MMA sphere. But they're walking out and they think all the attention's on them because we got fights back. And no, it isn't. It still isn't. Just trying to figure this thing out. Wow. Okay. So I don't know what to do. Do we just like stick around and see if you get any response or?
Yeah, I've sent out a message goes like, "Hey, sorry to bother you, but just a quick update real quick."
There's a freaking photo on the freaking T-Mobile Arena. So, I mean, look, I can't tell you anything. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know anything. I don't know anything. But I will say this. Clearly, if this is real, they're going to announce this fight on this broadcast because they'd be crazy not to at this point. I'm sure they're well aware that these pictures are circulating. So if it is real, they're going to announce this. And if they're announcing it as the legit heavyweight title fight, then they will tell us that Francis has been stripped, what they're doing there. Wild, man, because it seemed like we're in a good place, but maybe not. Or maybe Francis needs more time. Who knows? Wow. Okay. Well, we're about to get a fight.
Yeah.
It's about to start. Charles Johnson versus Jimmy Flick. Closing lines, minus 350 for Charles Johnson, which I'm stunned that it's that high. And Jimmy Flick, the plus 290 underdog. So my advice is enjoy the card. And we'll do our picks. Okay, we'll do our picks. Let me pull up the main card.
There's fights. There's still fights going on. Yeah, we're
just cancel the whole card.
Yeah,
and let us try to look at this. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Raoni Barcelos. I think you already said you're pulling off upset. By the way, the line in that fight has dropped a little bit more. Umar minus 850, Barcelos plus 600. You're going with the upset here.
Yeah, I'm going the upset.
All right. Ketlin Vieira versus Raquel Pennington. Right now, Ketlin Vieira minus 130, Raquel Pennington plus 110.
Vieira in a clinch heavy fight. She'll win a decision.
I'm picking Raquel Pennington. I think she can get this done. So I'll take the fake dog shot on her.
I don't know in that fight.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Puna Soriano versus Roman Kopylov. Soriano minus 140, Kopylov plus 120.
Soriano first round knockout over the Russian Chase Hooper.
I will go Soriano second round. I'm picking Ige by decision minus 130 against Damon Jackson, who comes back at plus 110. Where are you at?
Ige with a vengeance, second round knockout.
All right. Main events. We both already gave our picks. Nassourdine Imavov, as of right now, minus 130. Come back on Strickland plus 110. Picking Imavov to win a very close decision. The fight clock is there we go. It's at 5 minutes. Then it just dropped to 4:54. And it's not going anywhere. Now it's off the screen altogether. So not a good start to 2023 for the but you're picking Imavov. Do you think he finishes Strickland or wins a dominant decision?
He finishes Strickland fourth round TKO.
All right. Well, there you have it. Stay tuned to MMAfighting.com because and who knows? We're trying to figure all this out and see what's real and what isn't. So
hey, we have our own Jose Youngs.
Jose's in the building
in the Apex. So if Dana White speaks to the media tonight about this March 4th potential fight, we'll see.
Yeah, maybe Jose can get us some answers since he's in the damn Apex right now. So that is it. Jimmy Flick is on his back in guard, so things could get interesting right out the gate. But either way, we'll be back after the card to react to it all with all of you. So for Casey, I, and Mike Heck, enjoy the fights, everybody, for the first time this year.
Oh, happy birthday, AK.
Yes, my best friend.